Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is the birth story of my little Nolan. So that's right, we have had little Nolan. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can keep track of all the new Nolan things that are gonna come your way. Yeah, if you are not new, then you are probably really looking forward to this video so that you can see little man. I'm not going to wait till the end to show you because that's just not nice. So we're going to start out. There we go. Focus on him. He's wearing his little monstrously cute, if you saw that in one of my videos. He is, a big old chunk. But this is him. This is sweet little Nolan. Yeah, let's get right to the birth story. This will just be the birth story, and then I will do like a 1 week postpartum video and then a 1 week about him because he is a week old while I'm filming this, because that's just when I got around to filming it. It's been a very busy week. So let's get started with the birth story. I was due on October 20th, but he came at pretty much 38 weeks and like 3 days or something. The Saturday, October 8th is when everything kind of started. I was having Braxton Hicks leading up to that, and as my 38-week update, I believe it was 38-week update, yes, I was 2 centimeters dilated and 50% effaced. Well, yeah, everything went really fast after that. So come Saturday, October 8th, I woke up in the morning, went to the bathroom, and FYI, this is a birth story, so there will be TMI. Obviously not too gruesome because I don't have any footage, but I am going to be explaining everything. So if you do not like TMI, probably wouldn't have clicked on this video. But yes, so I woke up in the morning, went to the bathroom, and noticed that I was starting to lose my mucus plug. Now, that never happened with Liam, so I had no idea what that really meant. But looked it up, obviously, and it said it could take 2 weeks after that to have a baby. So didn't really think anything of it. We went about our day. I had some Braxton Hicks, but nothing that hurt. Like, absolutely nothing that hurt. So we ended up going that night to Rainforest Cafe at downtown Disney, just to do like some fun stuff with Liam before we had the baby, because I knew soon we would have the baby. And while we were at the restaurant, I kind of had some tightening, but like I said, nothing painful. We didn't do too much walking just in case. Didn't want to go into labor at Disney. So we went home, totally normal night. Nothing happened. I was kind of hoping it did, but nothing happened. So come Sunday, October 9th, that morning I went in, and I was the one that got Liam up. We usually take turns if possible, but most of the time I kind of sleep through Liam waking up and my husband gets him. But this morning I woke up and I got him. I picked him up, lifted him up out of bed, like out of his crib, and I felt kind of like, not a gush, but I definitely lost the rest of my mucus plug that morning. Or I had my bloody show. Not exactly sure what it was. Sorry, my hair keeps hitting his face. Not exactly sure what it was, if it was mucus plug or a bloody show, but it happened, and it kept happening all morning long. I went about my business. You just want to say hi to everyone, and he's hungry. I went about my business all morning, taking care of Liam. I was busy meal prepping because I had done a big grocery shopping. Sorry, no videos of that because I didn't really get finished with it. And so I was doing all of that, but it wasn't anything strenuous. I was just kind of just walking from the couch to the kitchen back and forth as I was doing stuff while Liam was eating breakfast and whatnot. So that went on all morning. I had tightening, but nothing hurt. And so we put Liam down for a nap at noon, and my husband was home, thank goodness. Put Liam down for a nap at noon, and I had a like strawberry shake in the freezer, and so I grabbed it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna eat the strawberry shake, and then I'll finish all the meal prepping. So I went to grab it, sat down on the couch, couldn't get comfortable. I just felt like, there's like obviously something in my stomach that was kind of uncomfortable. And so I laid down a certain way and I felt and heard a giant pop. Like it was a giant pop. There was no doubt in my mind what had just happened. And sure enough, I stood up. Even my husband heard it. He was sitting on the couch with me. I stood up and my water had broken. Now, I do know what that feels like because that happened with Liam. So I knew exactly. Like, that was my water breaking. So, of course, I go to the bathroom to make sure. And sure enough, it was not me peeing myself. And so my husband was like, oh, do I have time? Because we knew we had to get to the hospital, but I wasn't having any contractions at that point. So there was no point to rush to the hospital. And we needed somebody to come and watch Liam because he was napping. So there's no taking him with us or anything. And my sister was going to. She was just at a soccer game. So we were just going to wait till she was done with her soccer game. And then she was going to come and watch Liam and we'd head to the hospital. So he goes upstairs to take a shower and I clean up my situation. And I go into the kitchen to just put everything away. Everything that was out, just to kind of put it all away. Because I knew we were having a baby at least that day or the next. And while now this was at 12:51. Looked at my clock to see when my water broke because I know that they ask you that and they want you to be pretty precise if possible. So it was 12:51 that my water broke. And by 3 minutes later, I had my first contraction. Now, when they say you start contractions, they're supposed to start out slow and you're supposed to have hours and hours, even for your second baby, at least a few hours of contractions before you have to really worry about maybe getting to the hospital. My contractions didn't go from a 0 to a 3. They went straight to 100 right away. It was the most intense pain I have ever felt because my contractions with Liam did the slow progression and then picked up. This was the most intense contraction right away. It made me buckle over. I was in the kitchen breathing through it. And then as soon as it was done, I was like, oh, okay. So I got through that one. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, these are pretty intense. So I finished everything I was doing. My husband took a shower. By the time he got downstairs, they were every 2 minutes, lasting a minute, if not even closer than that. So we went from 12:51 to not even 30 minutes later needing to rush to the hospital and not having anybody there to take care of Liam. So we finally get a hold of, I have my mom coming from the desert, I have my grandma coming from her house, and I finally get a hold of somebody to get my sister Brooke out of her soccer game. I mean, literally drag her out of her soccer game and get her to my house. Thank goodness her soccer game was just down the street because, oh my gosh, it was so intense. Then we had to call the doctor and it's Sunday. Nobody's there. So by, I believe, like an hour into all of this, we finally get a hold of the doctor. We tell him what's going on and she's talking to me and I'm busy having a contraction. Every time I wanted to talk to somebody on the phone, I had a contraction. And I mean, they were just on top of each other. And my water was still like kind of gushing out at this point. And it was all clear fluid, so I knew nothing was wrong. I just was shocked at how intense everything was, which scared me because I thought I have hours of this. So then finally Brooke gets to us. The doctor says, okay, you sound like you're in labor. You can come in. Yeah, I'm coming in. Yeah, it was so intense. Finally, Brooke gets here and we head to the hospital. I'm laying down in the front seat of the car. Every air conditioning is blasting. I'm trying to hold on to stuff. I can barely breathe through them. I mean, breathing through them is so hard. These were extremely intense, but as soon as they were gone, when they were done, it was like, oh, I can breathe. So that was the only way, just thinking about getting to the next break was the only way I could get through it. We got stopped at every red light. I don't think we caught a green light the entire way. My husband was freaking out. By the time that we got to close to the hospital, it was probably like 12:20. We got close to the hospital. We're like 2 blocks away from it. And I tell him, I need to push. I have the urge to push. And he's like, no, don't push, don't push, don't push. We're almost there. And we literally were almost there. I knew we were almost there, but it was just something my body was just taking over. So we get into the little parking thing where you can just kind of pull up to it. And I had to get out of the car. And I didn't think that I was going to make it into the hospital just because the pain was so intense. I mean, we're talking only a little over an hour or so into this. And I can't handle it. So we get into the hospital, we get up to the elevator. Of course, the elevator takes forever. And so we are in the elevator and the doors close, and then all of a sudden the back, it's like a double elevator, the back doors open and a nurse walks in. Thank goodness. She was a labor and delivery nurse. And while she walks in, I have a giant contraction. So she helps me breathe through it because my husband's freaking out at this point. I'm sure, because he has no idea what's going on, why it's going so fast. We get to the little nurse's station and they start asking us all these questions, and I pretty much yell at them, I need to push. And they're all looking at me with these big, huge eyes like, what? And I'm having contraction on top of contraction. And so they're like, okay, what were you at your last doctor's appointment? And I just like threw my fingers up. I'm like, 2, get me into a room now. I probably was really loud and obnoxious, but I was in so much pain, I couldn't help it. So my husband answers all their questions while they take me just around the corner into triage. Thank goodness there was nobody in triage because I had to literally strip down my pants and hop into a bed because I needed them to check to see what was going on. I felt like he was right there. And so they checked me, and sure enough, he is right there. I guess I was like a 7-8. My water had completely broken. I was a 7-8, but the pressure was so intense. I told her I have to push. And of course they're like, no, don't push. You're not ready. So they're trying to breathe, like help me breathe through it. I'm still in my normal shirt and bra. My pants and my cell phone and my shoes are on the floor. They start to wheel me away. I'm like, no, I need my cell phone and my stuff. Like, you can't just leave my stuff everywhere. So I think they just kind of threw it on the bed with me. And my cell phone fell like behind my back, I think. And so I'm in the triage bed. My husband is told, oh, she's an 8. You have plenty of time. Go park the car and then come up and she'll be in a room by then. So they start wheeling me into a room. I am screaming probably because I feel like I need to push. And once the contraction is done, I'm good. So we get to where my room is, and it's the room 290, and that is where I had Liam. So we have the same room for both of our boys. He's cooing and cawing over here. He's telling me he's hungry. So we are sitting in front of this room, and I'm like, why are we not going in? They had to pull the bed out that was in the room already, and wheel me in there. And while this is going on, I'm trying to breathe through contractions, screaming probably. People, just normal people, are walking around. Thank goodness everything was covered up. By the time they got me in the room, the nurses were like, oh, we need the doctor here. My doctor was nowhere to be found because she didn't pick up her phone. So then the other doctor that they had was really close. So she decided to come. And she wasn't there yet, but they had their doctor, like the hospital's doctor, ready to go. He was all ready to go. So they get me in there and they're like, Megan, don't push. You still have some time. I was like, no, you need to check me. And so they checked me, and sure enough, I mean, they just lifted up the blanket and he was already crowning. Like, he was good to go. So I kept having the urge to push, and my husband wasn't even there yet. So he walked in right when the regular doctor that was supposed to deliver him walked in. Thank goodness. And so he came to my side. I mean, he still had his sunglasses on. He threw everything down. And it was go time. Now this was at 12:50. Was it? No, 2:50. Like 2:45 is probably what it was. Yeah, about 2:45 is when I started pushing. They didn't even have everything ready. Like, if you had a baby, things like come out of the ceiling and they get all these lights. It was get the baby out as quickly as possible because, I still had my shirt on. I didn't have a gown on or anything. So we started pushing, and sure enough, within 10 minutes at 2:50, was it 2:55, somewhere around there, little Nolan was born. I did probably 4 pushes. And that's mostly because I'm a really bad pusher. I can't hold my breath for very long at all. So I found that really difficult, and I was feeling everything. I mean, more intense than what I felt with Liam. She did numb me because she needed to do an episiotomy just to get his big head out. He has a perfectly shaped head, but it is giant. So she did give me a episiotomy, and I have a 1-degree tear from it, but that is absolutely nothing compared to what I had with Liam. So I'm totally okay with that. And that was the only way to get him out, because he was trying to come and he just was kind of stuck at a certain point. So she had to kind of help him out with that. But yeah, he came out. They were like, look down and you can see him. And I was just in so much pain. The burning ring of fire and everything you hear about delivery, for real. You just kind of have to push through it, and it was all well worth it in the end, obviously. But I helped finish pulling him out. He came right up onto my chest. There's no pictures of that because, yeah, everything happened within 2 hours from start to finish. 2-hour labor and delivery, everything. Yeah, so not what they expected. I guess, the fastest delivery for this hospital. I don't know if that's like in history or just recently. I guess somebody before me, like a few days before me, went quickly, but not as quickly as I did. And then also I pushed that quickly with Liam, and now I pushed that quickly with this guy. So he was up on my chest for an hour. I did have issues after that. So because he came so fast, my uterus didn't know what to do. It was clamping down. I mean, it was doing everything that it was supposed to, but I was still bleeding a lot. So they did the stitches. They took care of that. And they had to keep pushing on my stomach to try to help everything, I guess, come out. I delivered the placenta a few minutes after he was born. That did take a little while longer than it did with Liam. But everything, my body didn't know what to do. Like, it was crazy fast. Didn't know what to do. He was on my chest on a regular shirt. They're all like, I hope you don't care about your shirt. I mean, no, I care about this baby. I don't care about a shirt. So he was on my chest for an hour while they were pushing on me, trying to get the bleeding to stop. It took a really long time, and it took some medicine, but I wasn't feeling dizzy or anything. It wasn't a bad experience. It just was kind of scary knowing that, like, you're losing lots of blood, and it's not supposed to happen that way. So, but it finally stopped. We got through it, and yeah, he was on my chest for an hour after delivery, the golden hour. And we were all just like, what happened? It was us trying to figure out what happened, and we were all in shock that happened so quickly, but I am so glad that it did. Most intense pain, crazy intense pain. Yeah, it was, I can't even explain how painful, but it only lasted 2 hours. So it was just amazing that he came that quickly. So after the golden hour is when they take him over and weigh him and clean him and all that. And by that time, my mom had gotten there. My sister was at home with Liam, and my grandma was at home with Liam by this point. And so they didn't come until later to see him. But my mom was there about 30 minutes after he was born. And so they go to weigh him, and everyone's taking their guesses, and I didn't say anything. I knew he was big. No one believed me, so I just was like, yeah, sure, okay. He's probably 8 pounds. Yeah, okay. They put him in the scale. This beefer was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, 21 inches long. Yeah, he is a beast. And he was 2 weeks early. He was born at 38 weeks. So he had gone the full term. I don't think he would have come out, especially not in 2 hours. But yeah, so he was healthy. He was perfect right from the start. He did have a kink in his cord, is what she said, but it didn't affect him or anything. It must have just been him trying to come out so quick. Everything was getting all jumbled up. But he was perfect from the start. 9 pounds, 11 ounces of squishiness. So he doesn't fit into newborns and all that stuff. It's a really long story. I'll do that for his 1 week update. But that is how Mr. Nolan came into the world. Fast and furious, but he is such a good baby, and it was all worth it. So he was born on October 9th, 2016, a day before my birthday. So now we both have different birthdays, which is good. But yes, this is Nolan. This is Nolan. Oh, bless you. And we are all so in love with him, and I am very happy with my birth. Obviously, there wasn't really anything I could do about it because it was so fast, but I am doing awesome. Baby's doing awesome. And yeah, we're really excited to introduce Nolan to everybody. Mwah. So if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe so that you can keep track of all of Nolan's things coming up and all our fun Halloween and everything that's coming up too. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and we will see you guys next time. Bye. Say bye-bye.